What if the things you thought were useless could become the most magical part of your garden? Today, we're turning old backpacks, motorcycle helmets, and even tennis rackets into fences and borders that feel like they've stepped right out of a storybook. This is Backyard Fortune, where we show you how to transform trash into treasure for your home and garden. In this video, you'll find timestamps for each DIY idea, so feel free to skip to what inspires you most. And if you've got questions or ideas of your own, share them in the comments. I love reading what you come up with. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind these ideas is a real story and a small family chasing a dream. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it doesn't just help a channel grow. It keeps a vision alive. It gives hope, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. One glass bottle orchard fence. Have you ever walked through an orchard where the smallest details whisper stories of care and imagination? Here, beneath the shade of apple trees heavy with fruit, the ground glimmers with an unexpected treasure, a fence made not from wood or iron, but from rows of glass bottles, placed upside down into the soil. Their deep green and amber tones catch the light, glowing like jewels against the earth. This isn't just a fence, it's a quiet act of recycling turned into art. By simply reusing old glass bottles, a boundary is created that is sturdy enough to guide the eye and delicate enough to let nature remain the star. Between the bottles, marigolds burst in bright orange, their petals drawing in bees and butterflies that keep the orchard alive with movement. The fragrance of thyme and parsley mingles with the sweetness of ripening apples, making the air feel both refreshing and full of promise. What makes this idea so practical is its simplicity. Anyone can try it. Glass bottles are easy to collect, and when placed upside down, they anchor firmly into the soil. The smooth glass is weather-resistant, so it lasts for years, and with a bit of imagination, you can arrange them in playful patterns or mix colors to create a mosaic-like effect. Add a line of flowers at the base, and suddenly a functional border becomes a living frame, guiding the eye through your garden as if it were a painting. Beyond its beauty, this little fence helps with the rhythm of the garden. It keeps small plants safe, creates natural divisions between beds, and, in its own quiet way, reminds us that nothing is too ordinary to be transformed. Every bottle that once held a story on someone's table now finds a second life in the soil, protecting young roots and reflecting sunlight like drops of magic along the orchard path. So the next time you think about discarding what seems useless, imagine instead how it might catch the light in your own garden. Sometimes, the simplest ideas, a row of bottles, a handful of flowers, a stretch of green, are enough to turn a backyard into a place of wonder. Two rubber tire citrus border. Sometimes the most ordinary objects carry within them the power to surprise us. Along the cobblestone path of this citrus orchard, a row of colors rises from the earth: green, cream, terracotta, not from stone or brick, but from old motorcycle tires, half buried into the soil and reborn as a garden border. The bright shades catch the sunlight, and together they form a playful rhythm that leads the eye toward the orange trees beyond, heavy with glowing fruit. This border does more than simply divide spaces. The curved tires create pockets where marigolds and rosemary thrive, filling the air with fragrance and drawing in bees and butterflies that keep the orchard alive. The colors, paired with the lush greenery and the deep orange of the fruit, give the entire place a sense of cheer, like a countryside painting brought to life. What makes this design so inviting is its simplicity. Old tires are easy to find, and with a coat of paint they gain new personality, transforming from discarded rubber into a fence that feels both sturdy and imaginative. Half burying them ensures they stay firmly in place, and their arched shape naturally creates small shelters for herbs or flowers at their base. With little effort, you end up with a border that is not only functional but also a source of beauty and pollinator-friendly planting. And there is something deeply satisfying about knowing that what once rolled along busy streets now rests quietly among orange blossoms, serving a second purpose in harmony with the land. It reminds us that creativity often blooms from what we already have. Every bottle, every tire, every forgotten piece can find new life in the garden, if only we look at it with different eyes. So when you wander your backyard, imagine what lies waiting to be reborn. Perhaps, just like here, a line of old tires could frame your own orchard or vegetable patch, bringing structure, color, and a story worth telling. Three, Aqua Bottle Watermelon Fence. In the quiet rhythm of the countryside, a simple idea can transform into something extraordinary. Here, a cheerful watermelon garden thrives, not behind wooden fences or stone walls, but with a border made entirely from recycled aqua bottles. Each bottle, once discarded, now stands tall and proud, painted in soft pastels of mint, cream, and blue, catching the sunlight like glass beads along the earth. Some are left clear, reflecting the golden rays of afternoon, and together they form a playful frame that feels as though it belongs to a storybook orchard. Between the bottles, parsley and carrots take root, their green tops swaying gently in the breeze, adding another layer of texture and life to the border. Beyond them, the watermelon vines stretch lazily across the soil, their wide leaves cradling round green fruits that rest like jewels on the earth. Sunflowers rise tall at the back, nodding in approval as bees hum between blossoms and butterflies dance in the warm glow. This is more than just decoration, it is proof that a small act of reuse can bring charm and order to your garden. Old plastic bottles, often overlooked, are lightweight, easy to handle, and surprisingly sturdy when pressed into the soil. By painting them or leaving them clear, you create patterns that protect your crops, guide their growth, and brighten the space at the same time. It's a border that costs almost nothing but offers so much: structure for the garden, beauty for the eye, and inspiration for the heart. Anyone can try it, whether in a backyard, a small patch of soil, or even along a balcony planter. And when the warm afternoon light spills across the bottles, turning them into glowing sentinels around your harvest, you'll feel the quiet magic that comes when creativity meets sustainability. Four, Bamboo Dragon Fruit Trellis Fence. There is something timeless about bamboo. Simple, strong, and endlessly renewable, it has been shaping gardens for centuries. In this orchard, it finds new life as both fence and trellis, embracing rows of dragon fruit plants with a rustic elegance that feels right at home in the European countryside. Each pole, bound tightly with rope, stands as a reminder that beauty can be built from the most natural and humble of materials. The bamboo structure is not only decorative, it is deeply practical. Dragon fruit plants are climbers, and without proper support, they sprawl untamed. But here, the recycled bamboo provides a perfect frame, guiding their stems upward, allowing blossoms to unfurl toward the morning light and giving fruit space to ripen under the sun. The fence becomes part of the harvest itself, an invisible partner in the cycle of growth. At the base, Marigolds and sage burst into color, their roots weaving through the soil, their blooms drawing bees and butterflies that flit lazily in the warm breeze. The air is alive with the hum of pollinators, the scent of herbs, and the glow of bamboo touched by golden light. Paths of cobblestone wander gently between the rows, inviting anyone passing by to slow down, admire, and perhaps imagine their own garden transformed. The magic of this design lies in its simplicity. Old bamboo poles, often forgotten after construction or left to weather, can be tied and repurposed into a strong framework. The rope knots are easy to master, and the structure itself asks for very little yet gives so much stability, beauty, and a sense of harmony with the plants it supports. This is not just a fence, but a living story where tradition meets imagination. Anyone can build it, and anyone who does will discover the quiet joy of turning something as modest as bamboo into the stage for a flourishing garden. Five, clay brick banana border. In the gentle countryside, there is something timeless about the strength of clay bricks. Stacked one over the other in warm shades of red and brown, they create a border that feels both protective and welcoming. Behind this simple yet enduring frame, rows of Cavendish banana plants rise with their wide green leaves stretching toward the sky, swaying softly whenever the wind passes through. At the base of the wall, life continues in smaller forms. Parsley and mint grow thick and fragrant, their leaves releasing a refreshing scent every time they are brushed. Marigolds add their golden brilliance, luring bees and butterflies to linger in the garden, turning the edge of the border into a living invitation for pollinators. Birds perch comfortably on the brick posts, their quiet presence adding calm rhythm to the scene. What makes this design inspiring is its blend of utility and charm. Clay bricks are easy to source, often left unused after construction projects, yet they become something far greater when repurposed into a garden fence. They hold the soil, define space, and bring an earthy harmony that matches beautifully with the lush greens of banana plantations. If you wish to recreate this at home, all you need is patience in stacking and a willingness to pair the sturdy clay with herbs and flowers. The rest is given by nature, sunlight, rain, and the soft hum of life that will soon make this border feel alive. And as you stand beside it, watching butterflies hover above lavender in the distance, the beauty of this idea becomes clear. It is not just a fence, it is a story of transformation, where ordinary bricks find a second life, shaping a garden that is practical, enchanting, and deeply human. Six, fan net peanut fence. In a quiet countryside corner, an unusual fence rises, not of stone or wood, but of recycled fan nets carefully tied to wooden posts. Their circular frames, once spinning blades of air, now stand still, catching sunlight in a lace of rustic iron. Woven side by side, they create a border that feels both sturdy and delicate, like a garden breathing through a pattern of circles. Beyond this airy fence, rows of peanut plants spread wide across the soil, their emerald leaves sprinkled with soft yellow blossoms. The scent of fresh earth mixes with the gentle perfume of marigolds and thyme, planted along the base as natural companions. These flowers do more than add color. They invite pollinators, the bees and butterflies that flutter lazily in the afternoon warmth, ensuring that life within the fence thrives season after season. Birds perch calmly on the posts, as though keeping watch over the little kingdom of green, while their songs mingle with the rustle of leaves. Here, practicality meets poetry. What once seemed like scraps of metal have been reborn into a boundary full of character, protecting the harvest while telling a story of ingenuity. It's a simple DIY idea that anyone can try. Collect old fan guards, secure them to wooden stakes, and let them serve as a living fence for your garden. It's sustainable, affordable, and endlessly creative. With just a few tools and some imagination, you can craft a border that not only holds your crops safe but also turns your garden into a fairy tale space, where even the smallest detail shines with purpose and beauty. Seven. Tin roof potato edge. In the quiet charm of the countryside, even discarded tin sheets can be given a second life. Picture an old roof, weathered and forgotten, now reborn as a sturdy edge that lines the borders of a potato field. The corrugated metal, once shielding a home from rain, stands tall against wooden posts, catching the morning sun in silvery ripples that play across its surface. It doesn't feel cold or industrial anymore. Instead, it blends with the earth, becoming part of the rhythm of the garden. Rows of potato plants stretch endlessly, their green leaves whispering with the wind, while the base of the fence bursts with color, bright marigolds and fresh basil softening the metallic edge. This pairing is more than decoration. The marigolds invite pollinators and keep pests away, while the basil enriches the air with fragrance and flavor. Birds rest on the wooden beams above, and butterflies drift in and out of the garden, turning this humble potato patch into a sanctuary of life. The beauty of this design lies in its practicality. Old tin sheets are often overlooked, yet they are durable, easy to secure, and free if salvaged from unused structures. When framed with wood, they become both protective and beautiful, creating a sense of order without losing the rustic charm. If you're considering a DIY project for your own backyard, this is proof that sustainability doesn't have to sacrifice style. With a bit of care, even the most ordinary materials can transform into something that feels like it belongs in a fairy tale farmstead, reminding us that creativity often begins with what we already have. Eight. Backpack blueberry fence. In a quiet countryside garden, sometimes the most ordinary objects carry the potential to surprise us. These rows of backpacks, once meant for carrying books and journeys across town, now stand as planters filled with life. Each bag, secured neatly to a wooden frame, holds soil where blueberry bushes stretch upward, their branches heavy with tiny fruits that glisten like scattered sapphires. The old zippers and pockets remain, adding a touch of rustic character, reminding us that beauty often comes from what we choose not to throw away. At their base, clusters of marigolds and thyme form a fragrant carpet, calling in bees and butterflies that dance lightly in the warm afternoon sun. The cobblestone path nearby winds gently along the row, leading toward apple trees in the distance, making the entire space feel like a passage into a fairy tale corner of Europe. What makes this idea truly inspiring is its practicality. If you have old backpacks at home, they can be repurposed into durable garden planters. Their fabric is strong enough to hold soil, and the straps make them easy to attach to fences or wooden frames. You can grow herbs, flowers, or even fruit bushes, turning unused bags into something both functional and beautiful. The key is to make sure there's good drainage by cutting small holes at the bottom, ensuring your plants stay healthy. This design proves that you don't need expensive planters or elaborate structures to create something magical. With creativity, patience, and a bit of care, even the humblest backpack can bloom into a garden full of life. And in doing so, your outdoor space becomes more than just a garden. It becomes a story of renewal, where the past finds a new way to thrive in the present. 9. Helmet avocado fence. In the heart of a sunlit avocado orchard, an idea as whimsical as it is practical comes to life. Instead of the usual garden fence, old motorcycle helmets are given a second chance, each one transformed into a planter brimming with green herbs, cheerful marigolds, and ivy that trails gracefully down the posts. The helmets, painted in soft pastels and worn metallic tones, line the orchard like guardians, their sturdy shells now nurturing life rather than protecting it. Against the backdrop of trees heavy with ripening avocados, the contrast feels both playful and poetic. What makes this design so inspiring is its simplicity. A helmet, once destined for storage or waste, becomes a vessel for soil and roots. By drilling small drainage holes and securing it onto a wooden post, anyone can recreate this quirky border at home. The result is not just a fence, but a living installation that adds charm, texture, and fragrance to the garden. Imagine walking past rows of rosemary, mint, or thyme planted inside helmets, their scents carried by the breeze, while marigolds attract bees and butterflies to dance among the flowers. The scene becomes alive in more ways than one. It's a gentle reminder that gardening is as much about creativity as it is about cultivation. A forgotten object can become the centerpiece of a design, breathing joy into the landscape while reducing waste. And when paired with the golden afternoon light spilling through the orchard, the helmets glimmer like jewels in a fairy tale setting. This is the kind of DIY project that speaks to the heart, resourceful, enchanting, and entirely achievable, turning an ordinary fence into a story worth telling with every bloom and every vine that tumbles forward. 10. Tennis racket lychee border. In the quiet charm of a European-inspired orchard, even the simplest objects can find a second life, whispering stories of creativity and care. Here, a border takes shape not from timber or iron, but from tennis rackets once abandoned in dusty corners. Their frames, worn and weathered, are fastened side by side onto a wooden structure, their strings forming a delicate yet resilient mesh that holds the orchard together. Morning sunlight streams through the lattices, casting playful shadows on the cobblestone path, while the faded colors of the grips add a patchwork character that feels both nostalgic and inventive. Beyond the fence, lychee trees sway gently, their branches heavy with clusters of red fruit that glisten like jewels against the green. At the base of the rackets, marigolds burst into bright orange blooms, mingling with the soft leaves of basil that release their fragrance each time the breeze brushes past. Birds find comfort on the posts, pausing to sing before darting off among the branches, while butterflies dance lazily above, completing a scene that feels lifted from a storybook garden. The beauty of this design lies not just in its whimsy but in its practicality. Repurposing old rackets not only keeps waste from piling up but also provides a strong, airy structure that allows light and airflow, perfect for an orchard fence. It's a reminder that DIY doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes, it's as simple as looking at what you already have and imagining how it might live again in your garden. And with each piece you reuse, you're weaving your own story into the landscape, one that is sustainable, resourceful, and uniquely yours. This fence stands as proof that magic isn't always bought or planned. It's often made, with your own hands, in the place you call home. And there you have it, 3 recycled garden borders that prove beauty can be built from anything. Whether it's a backpack, a helmet, or an old tennis racket, Each piece of junk has the power to become something magical in your backyard. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Tell me, which border inspired you most? Or maybe you have your own creative idea waiting to be shared. Let's keep inspiring each other to build gardens that tell stories, one recycled piece at a time.